So on the topic of kind of the youth, and we covered the salah aspect of that. So now, what's one way that people who are in school or even at their work, can kind of casually give da'wah to the people that they're working with, and even can you touch on like some of the people who might be ashamed of being Muslim, changing their name, things like that.
That's an amazing question. And if you think about it, why are we in this country? Why are we on this earth? Allah sent us here with a purpose, right? And that purpose is not just to recognize Allah and worship Allah, that's the first, but also as this ummah, this nation, we have the responsibility to call mankind towards Allah. We are the nation of the last prophet. There's no more prophets to come. So, whose job is the job of the prophets? Our job. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Go and convey upon my behalf, even if it's an ayah. We are here as the messengers of the messenger. Before, in the earlier prophets, there would be a prophet. When he would die, you have another prophet. Ibrahim alayhi salam, you had Ishaq and Ismail alayhi salam. Ishaq alayhi salam, then you had Yaqub alayhi salam. Yaqub alayhi salam, then you had Yusuf alayhi salam, so on, one after the other. But our Prophet was the last. That's our aqidah, that's our belief. So this is our job. Allah tells us, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You are the best of nations sent out to benefit mankind. We didn't just come here on accident, right? تأمرون بالمعروف وتنحون عن المنكر. You invite towards good and you forbid from what is evil. Umar ibn Khattab said that if you want to be a part of this best nation title, if you want that reward, you got to fulfill the condition in the ayah to be calling towards Allah, calling toward the haqq, calling towards all that is good, forbidding evil, shirk, and bid'ah, and so on. That is the job of this whole ummah. So, how can we do it? Look, we don't want to get somebody fired. We don't want to get people kicked out of school. We understand that. But there is a way of wisdom. Like I work in the med device industry. Many times people bring up things that have to do with science that show the greatness of Allah. And I ask them, how did this develop? How did this got to be? And if they want to engage, I can set it up after work. Like if you're in school and somebody really wants to engage, during your lunch, during your breaks, if it wants to be past that, bring him to the masjid. But don't get it twisted. I don't want no young guys being like, oh, I'm giving her da'wah, so we're going on a date. Nah, that's not the way da'wah works, right? If there's a sister that's interested in Islam, get her introduced to the Muslim women. And if you're a woman and some guy asks you about Islam, don't be like, oh, I'm going to go to Magic Mountain with him so I can tell him about Islam. No, no, no. Not, no haram here, right? Instead, introduce him to the Muslim brothers, let them deal with it, right? Bring him to the masjid, bring him to your local shuyukh, your imams, and be a means of da'wah in our workplace and in our schools within the limits of the law. We can do a lot of da'wah. First and foremost, don't be ashamed of who you are. If you're ashamed of who you are, you will never be a representative for Islam. If you're changing your name and your identity and trying to fake where you're from and all that, how are people going to learn about Islam? They will hang from your neck on the day of judgment and say, I went to school with you, I lived next to you, I worked with you. Why didn't you tell me about this truth? And Allah will hold you accountable.
So